At the beginning of the story, we meet two orphan siblings, Tom and his little sister Mary. After losing their parents, they arrive in New York City to live with their uncle Niall. The two kids sit quietly at the ship port, waiting for their uncle to come pick them up. Mary looks at an old photo of her father and Uncle Niall and says they look exactly alike, but she still doesn't understand why their uncle hasn't shown up yet. A small puppy suddenly walks up to Mary and starts staring at her. Mary gives him a piece of bread, making the little puppy instantly happy. She names him Sparky and asks Tom if they can keep him with them, but Tom immediately says no. Still, Mary refuses to give up. She says that until Uncle Niall comes to get them, Sparky can stay with them. After a lot of convincing, Tom finally agrees. Hours pass, and evening starts to fall, but Uncle Niall still never arrives. Mary then says they already have their uncle's address, so maybe they should just go to his house themselves. Tom checks the address and realizes Uncle Niall lives all the way in California, incredibly far from New York. Now the real question was, how were they supposed to get there? Mary excitedly suggests taking a train to California, especially since Tom loves trains so much. Tom doesn't really have any better idea, so he goes with her to the train station. But there's one huge problem. They only have Irish money, so they can't buy train tickets. Trying to earn money, Tom starts playing his violin for the people at the station. The crowd enjoys his music and gives him a few coins. Meanwhile, Mary helps travelers carry their luggage and earns some money too. But even after all that hard work, they still don't have enough to buy tickets. The two kids feel completely hopeless. Just then, a large group of orphan children arrives at the station. They're all heading to California by train. Tom and Mary secretly blend into the group. Since there are so many children together, the ticket inspector doesn't bother checking every single ticket and lets them all board the train. Tom and Mary quickly sit at the very back of the train car, hoping nobody notices them. But the woman taking care of the orphan children soon spots them. Her name is Eleanor. She walks over and asks who they are. Tom nervously explains that they accidentally ended up in this train car and says they can leave if they're causing trouble. Eleanor gently asks if the two of them are traveling alone. Mary explains that their grandmother sent them to California to live with their uncle, but he never came to pick them up. And since they didn't have enough money for tickets, they quietly boarded this train instead. Eleanor then tells them that all the children on the train are orphans, and she's helping them find families so they can finally have happy lives. Since the journey will be very long, she invites Tom and Mary to stay with the group and promises they can come to her anytime if they need help. Mary introduces herself and Tom, then quietly says that they're orphans too, just like the other children. As the train continues moving forward, Mary quickly becomes friends with the orphan girls and starts playing with them. Suddenly, the ticket inspector enters their train car. The girls cleverly distract him while Tom and Mary grab Sparky and hide inside the luggage section. Once the inspector leaves, Mary happily returns to playing with the girls again. Among the orphan children, there's a disabled boy named Nick. Mary suggests inviting Nick to play with them too, but one of the girls explains that Nick can't even leave his spot because he's stuck in a wheelchair all the time. Mary walks up to Nick and tries to shake his hand, but Nick can barely move his arms or legs. Eleanor sadly explains that Nick has been paralyzed since childhood. He can only move his body with great difficulty, and he can't even speak. Still, Eleanor says she has learned to understand his feelings just by looking at his face. After that, Mary goes back to playing with the other girls. Tom, meanwhile, is fascinated by the train itself, so he runs toward the engine room to take a closer look. On the way, he accidentally bumps into a man, causing the man's gun to fall onto the floor, but neither Tom nor anyone else notices it, and the man quickly picks it back up. That man's name is Wilson, and he's actually a dangerous outlaw planning to rob the train. Tom finally reaches the front near the train engine, but Sparky has secretly followed him all the way there. Suddenly, Sparky spots a pigeon. While chasing it, he slips and falls into a wagon filled with firewood. Trying to rescue Sparky, Tom climbs into the wagon after him. The train engineer eventually notices Tom climbing around near the wood wagon. Worried that the boy might get hurt, he helps Tom climb back down safely. Then the engineer spots the hat Tom is wearing and suddenly freezes. It turns out Tom's father used to be a train engineer too. Tom proudly explains that his father worked on trains back in Ireland and that the hat once belonged to him. Hearing that makes the engineer smile. As a special moment, he even lets Tom help operate the train for a little while. And for Tom, it feels like a dream come true. Later, the train stops at another station where several families arrive to adopt some of the orphan children. One by one, children finally find new homes. But because of Nick's disability, nobody chooses him. Seeing this completely breaks Nick's heart, and Eleanor feels terrible too. Mary notices how sad Nick looks, so she quietly sits beside him. Meanwhile, one of Wilson's partners secretly boards the train at that station. Just like Wilson, he's armed with a gun. The outlaws are planning to rob the train together. Wilson confidently says, "Chuckley, there's no real danger on board, and that the robbery should be easy." Then he starts looking through a strange box filled with arrows. Trying to cheer Nick up, Mary begins playing cards with him, and for the first time in a while, Nick actually seems happy. Suddenly, the ticket inspector comes back for another round of checking. Tom and Mary quickly grab Sparky and climb onto the roof of the train to hide. Sparky spots another pigeon and suddenly jumps off the moving train while chasing it. Mary instantly jumps after him without thinking. Thankfully, Tom manages to catch both of them before they fall too far. At that exact moment, a man inside the train notices Sparky outside the window and tries telling his wife about it. But before he can explain properly, Tom quickly pulls Sparky back up. The wife immediately snatches the bottle away from her husband, convinced he's just seeing weird things because he drank too much alcohol. A little later, the train comes to another stop. Outside, massive herds of buffalo are roaming across the land. Even Nick looks amazed and happy watching them. Mary excitedly asks Tom if they can take Nick off the train for a closer look at the buffalo, but Tom immediately refuses. Still, Mary keeps insisting, and seeing how excited Nick is, Tom finally gives in. One of the girls notices them leaving the train with Nick, but she's so sleepy that she simply falls back asleep without saying anything. A huge buffalo slowly walks up near Nick. Mary gently helps Nick touch the animal by guiding his hand forward. For a moment, Nick looks truly happy, but then suddenly, the train starts moving again. Tom and Mary panic and rush toward the train while pushing Nick's wheelchair. But because of the wheelchair, they can't climb back on board in time. As the train disappears into the distance, Tom gets angry, furious at Mary. He blames her for getting them stranded out there. And to make things even worse, Tom realizes his father's violin was still left behind on the train. Back on the train, the sleepy girl finally tells Eleanor that Nick, Tom, and Mary were left behind near the buffalo. But Eleanor had been busy working earlier and never listened when the girl first tried warning her. Now Eleanor, completely shouting, panics. She's terrified for Nick's safety. But before she can do anything, the outlaws suddenly attack the train. One of the armed bandits enters the orphan children's train car, terrifying everyone inside. Meanwhile, Tom and the others discover an old abandoned warehouse nearby. Next to it sits a broken rail cart. Tom immediately starts trying to repair it so they can catch up to the train. Mary tries helping him, but Tom tells her to stay away. He says all of this happened because of her, and now even their father's violin is gone. According to Tom, it's better if she stops touching anything altogether. So Tom keeps working alone, but fixing the rail cart turns out to be harder than he expected. Eventually, he accepts Mary's help. Together, the two siblings finally manage to repair the cart completely. Then Tom, Mary, Nick, and Sparky all climb aboard and continue following the tracks. Back on the train, Eleanor questions the sleepy girl again about what happened. The girl explains that Tom and Mary took Nick outside to see the buffalo, and she really did try to warn Eleanor earlier, but Eleanor never listened. Eleanor feels overwhelmed with guilt and worry. Meanwhile, the bandits fully take control of the train. After some time, Tom and the others finally catch up to the stopped train using the rail cart. But when Tom climbs aboard, he discovers something horrifying. The train is completely empty. No passengers, no children, nobody at all. Tom gathers their belongings and prepares to leave, but then he notices something strange on the floor. An arrow. It's one of the arrows Wilson had earlier. Tom quickly tells Mary that he found a Cheyenne tribe arrow inside the train. He assumes that native warriors must have attacked the train and kidnapped everyone on board. Now the kids realize they need to find help fast. That night, the group camps beside the tracks and lights a fire to rest before continuing their journey. In the middle of the night, a pack of wolves suddenly attacks the kids. Tom quickly protects Mary while using burning pieces of wood to scare the wolves away. Trying to keep the animals distracted, Tom draws the wolves toward himself. Taking advantage of the moment, Mary pushes Nick onto the rail cart and gets him to safety. Sparky bravely jumps in front of Tom to protect him. The wolves immediately turn toward the little puppy and attack him instead, but Tom rushes in and saves Sparky just in time. Then he grabs him and climbs back onto the rail cart. Unfortunately, one of the wolves manages to jump onto the cart too. It lunges straight at Mary. Nick suddenly gets the wolf's attention and pulls it away from her. The wolf attacks Nick instead, but while jumping forward, it crashes into the cart's metal handle and falls off the moving cart. Later, Tom stops near a river so everyone can drink some water. During the attack, one of the wolves bit his leg badly, making it hard for him to walk. Mary helps Tom by holding his arm and guiding him toward the river. But before they can rest, members of the Cheyenne tribe suddenly surround them. The tribe captures Tom and the others and takes them back to their village. Tom gets separated from Mary and Nick, which terrifies Mary. Soon, the chief of the Cheyenne tribe arrives. His name is Make Booty. Mary assumes the tribe speaks a completely different language, so she awkwardly starts communicating through hand gestures instead. Then Tom, excited, suddenly appears and explains that the Cheyenne people are actually kind. They treated his injured leg, and he also learned something important. The Cheyenne tribe never attacked the train. Make Booty explains that the bandits are using the tribe as a cover. After robbing trains and kidnapping people, the outlaws leave behind Cheyenne arrows and symbols troubles, so everyone blames the tribe instead of them. He soft tells Tom that if he truly wants to rescue the others, he first needs to wait for his leg to heal properly. At that moment, Make-Buoy's granddaughter Luna Rosa arrives. The chief tells Tom that he and his friends are welcome to stay with the tribe as long as they need. Until then, Luna Rosa will take care of them. Tom immediately starts liking Luna Rosa. That night, the Cheyenne tribe celebrates with music, dancing and singing around the fire. Watching everyone dance together gives Nick a beautiful imagination in his mind, where he can finally stand up and dance happily beside Mary. Tom, Mary, Nick, and Luna Rosa all spend time and having fun together. The next day, Tom tries eating some strange green berries growing nearby, but Luna Rosa quickly stops him. Unfortunately, Mary had already eaten a bunch of them earlier, which leaves her with a terrible stomachache. Later, Make-Buoy tells Tom that his scouts have finally discovered where the kidnapped passengers are being held. Now Tom can go rescue them. Before they leave, Make-Buoy gives Nick a special bird whistle necklace. He says that if they ever need help, all they have to do is blow the whistle. Tom and the others say goodbye to Luna Rosa one last time before continuing their journey. While traveling, they suddenly run into Wilson and his gang, but Tom still believes they're ordinary passengers from the train. Wilson lies to them and says the Cheyenne tribe attacked the train, but he and a few others managed to escape safely. He also claims the remaining passengers are unharmed and says the kids can come with him if they want to see everyone again. Without suspecting anything, Tom and the others follow Wilson. On the way, they encounter forest rangers. Wilson becomes nervous for a moment, afraid they might discover the truth, but the rangers never realize who the outlaws really are, and Wilson's gang quietly moves on. Soon, Wilson orders his men to move a massive boulder, revealing a hidden entrance behind it. Inside is an enormous secret mining operation. All the passengers from the train are trapped there and forced to work inside the mine. Wilson immediately orders Tom and the others to start working too. One of the bandits notices Nick and asks what they should do with him. Wilson coldly suggests killing him, but Mary quickly steps in and stops them. She says Nick can help by carrying water around in his wheelchair and serving the workers instead. Wilson thinks for a moment and finally agrees. He tells the bandit to keep Nick alive for now, but warns that if Nick becomes useless or causes trouble, they should kill him immediately. Meanwhile, Sparky secretly runs away from the mine without anyone noticing. Inside the mine, Eleanor finally sees Tom, Mary, and Nick again. She's overjoyed to discover that Nick is safe and thanks Mary for taking care of him. While working, Tom accidentally drops some mining equipment. One of the angry bandits starts whipping him as punishment. Eleanor tries to stop the man, but the bandit turns on her too and prepares to attack her instead. Suddenly, another prisoner steps in and stops him. It's Tom's uncle Niall. The outlaws immediately begin beating Niall for interfering, but Wilson fires a gunshot into the air, forcing everyone to stop. Wilson warns Niall that he's already useless to them, and if he causes trouble again, he won't be spared next time. After that, the bandits lock Niall inside a prison cell. Since Tom and Mary haven't seen their uncle in years, they fail to recognize him, and Niall doesn't recognize them either. Mary and Nick spend the day giving water to all the prisoners, while Tom works in the mine alongside the other captives. Meanwhile, Sparky manages to escape from the mining camp and starts crossing the desert alone. But suddenly, a wolf appears in front of him. Trying to get away, Sparky runs straight toward a nearby forest ranger outpost. That night, all the prisoners sit together eating their small portions of food. Tom finally asks the question everyone has been thinking about. How long are we supposed to keep working here like slaves? The train engineer tries to comfort him. He says that once the railway company realizes the train was attacked, rescue teams will definitely come searching for them. But the ticket inspector gives a much darker answer. He whispering says he doesn't want to scare anyone, but it could take the railway at least a month to figure out what happened and locate them. And honestly, he doesn't think they'll survive that long. The bandits also bring Niall out so he can eat with the others. Eleanor thanks Niall for protecting her earlier. After dinner, everyone slowly falls asleep, but Tom stays awake, staring into the darkness. He's terrified because he has no idea how he's going to get Mary out of this nightmare safely. A little later, Mary wakes up too. She immediately realizes Tom is worried and tries comforting him, but Tom feels completely defeated. He says he promised himself he would safely bring her to Uncle Niall, but instead, everything has gone wrong. Now even Nick is trapped because of them. Mary gently tells Tom not to worry so much. She says both she and Nick love him and truly believe he'll find a way to fix everything. Hearing that finally breaks through Tom's fear, he smiles and hugs Mary tightly. The next morning, everyone returns to work inside the mine. Suddenly, a massive rock starts falling toward Niall. Eleanor quickly saves him just in time. After that moment, the two clearly begin developing feelings for each other. While serving water, Mary notices some green berries growing nearby. They're the exact same berries that upset her stomach back at the Cheyenne village. At the same time, one of the bandits orders Mary to bring water up to the watchtower. Since Nick's wheelchair can't reach the tower, Tom leaves Nick with Niall and goes with Mary instead. While they're there, Wilson secretly talks with one of his men. Wilson reveals that the mine has already produced a huge amount of gold this week. Now that they've taken enough, he plans to destroy the entire mine within 2 days, with every prisoner still trapped inside. Tom and Mary secretly overhear the entire conversation. That night, they quietly tell all the prisoners about Wilson's plan. Tom explains that the Cheyenne tribe are actually their friends, and they might help everyone escape. But first, someone needs to get out of the mine alive and call for help. Then Mary shows everyone the green berries. Together, Tom and the others come up with an escape plan. Later that night, Mary can't sleep because she's worried about Sparky. Tom comforts her by saying Sparky is smart and probably safe somewhere. Then he says he'll play the violin just like their father used to. Maybe the music will help her fall asleep. As Tom starts playing the violin, the beautiful melody fills the cave, and everyone quietly wakes up listening to it. Niall suddenly becomes emotional. He says his brother loved that exact song. Mary then shows Niall an old photo of their father. The moment Niall sees it, he freezes in shock. He says he remembers that day perfectly. It was his brother's very first day working for the railway, and he proudly took Niall to see the trains with him. At that moment, Tom and Mary finally realize the truth. Niall is their uncle. The three of them are overwhelmed with happiness and emotion. Niall explains that he really was on his way to New York to pick them up, but the bandits attacked the train and captured him before he could reach them. Tom and Mary immediately hug him tightly. The next morning, Mary secretly mixes the green berries into the bandits' drinking water. Soon, every outlaw starts suffering terrible stomach pain and rushes to the bathrooms. Using the distraction, Tom, Mary, and Nick escape by riding away in a mining trolley, but Wilson spots them escaping and sends several bandits after them immediately. During the chase, one of the trolley wheels suddenly breaks loose. Thankfully, Tom uses Nick's wheelchair to stabilize the trolley and keep it from crashing. One of the bandits almost jumps onto Tom's trolley, but Niall suddenly appears behind him and stops him. Another outlaw begins beating Niall and tries shooting at Tom, but once again, Niall risks himself to protect the kids. Tom quickly pulls a railway lever, switching his trolley onto a different track. Then Niall pulls the lever again behind him. As a result, the bandits' trolley gets diverted onto another rail line, while Tom safely escapes. Afterward, the outlaws throw Niall and the remaining prisoners back into locked cells. Out in the desert, Nick blows the special bird whistle Make Boofy gave him, hoping the Cheyenne tribe will hear it, but they're too far away in the middle of the desert, and no one responds. Tom and the others keep moving forward while continuing to blow the whistle again and again, but still, there's no answer. Eventually, the group loses hope. They begin believing nobody is coming to save them. Exhausted, they stop to rest. But then suddenly, Sparky appears out of nowhere, and he's brought the forest rangers with him. At the exact same moment, the Cheyenne tribe arrives too. The forest rangers immediately think the Cheyenne warriors are about to attack them, so they quickly pull out their weapons and prepare for a fight. Tom and Mary quickly explain to the forest rangers that the Cheyenne tribe are not their enemies. In fact, they're the ones who came to help after hearing the bird whistle. After hearing the truth, the rangers lower their weapons and stop preparing for a fight. One of the forest officers tells Tom that in order to rescue the prisoners, they'll need to cross the massive rocks and enter the mine. But if the bandits trigger the explosives while they're inside, everyone could die. Make Booty confidently says they won't need guns to get in. His warriors can sneak inside first, open the entrance from within, and together they'll defeat the outlaws. The forest officers finally agree, and everyone heads toward the mine. Meanwhile, inside the mine, the bandits are planting dynamite everywhere. They're preparing to escape with all the stolen gold before destroying the entire place. After some time, Tom and the others finally reach the mine entrance. The Cheyenne warriors climb across the rocks and quietly sneak inside first. They knock out several guards and successfully open the main gate. Tom, the others, and the Cheyenne tribe rush into the mine together, but unfortunately, one of the bandits spots them. He immediately cuts the rope controlling the gate, causing the entrance to slam shut again. Now the forest rangers are trapped outside while the battle begins inside the mine. The Cheyenne warriors start fighting the outlaws. Tom and the others leave Nick safely near a slope and run toward the prison cells to free the captives. But the jail doors are locked, and one of the bandits still has the key. Eleanor urgently tells Tom and the others to hide before they get caught, but Tom refuses to back down. Together with Mary, he rushes straight at the outlaw and tries grabbing the key. At the perfect moment, Sparky bites the bandit's leg, making him drop the key onto the ground. Luna Rosa quickly picks it up and runs with Tom to free the prisoners. The outlaw tries stopping them, but Make Bowie steps in and starts fighting him instead. Seeing her grandfather in danger terrifies Luna Rosa. She gives the key to Tom and rushes back to help Make Bowie. But the outlaw manages to overpower Make Bowie, knock him to the ground, and grab Luna Rosa. Meanwhile, Tom unlocks all the prison cells and frees the prisoners. But then he suddenly realizes something horrifying. Mary is missing. Everyone immediately panics. At the same time, the outlaw continues attacking Make Bowie. But suddenly, thanks to Sparky, the forest rangers finally find another way into the mine and rush inside. The moment the bandits see the armed rangers, none of them dare continue fighting. Meanwhile, Wilson is loading gold bags into a wagon, and Mary is standing right beside him. Niall slowly walks toward Mary to save her, but Wilson suddenly grabs her and points a gun at her head. He warns everyone that if anyone comes closer, he'll kill the little girl immediately. Watching this makes Nick furious. He's sitting near the slope in his wheelchair, and with all his strength, he starts rocking himself back and forth. Suddenly, the wheelchair rolls down the slope at full speed and crashes directly into Wilson. Both of them slam onto the ground. Wilson survives the hit and tries getting back up with his gun, but then several heavy bags filled with gold fall right on top of him, knocking him unconscious. Nick also loses consciousness after crashing down the slope. Mary and Niall desperately try waking him up, but Nick doesn't respond. Inside his mind, Nick begins dreaming. In the dream, a giant buffalo stands in front of him. Nick tries reaching out to touch it, but once again, his body won't move properly. Then he remembers something Mary once told him. No matter what happens in life, you should never give up. With all his strength, Nick finally reaches forward and touches the buffalo. At that exact moment, the dream shatters, and Nick opens his eyes. Everyone is overwhelmed with happiness seeing him awake again. Make Bovey smiles warmly and tells Nick that even though he cannot speak, his heart is stronger than most people's. He proudly calls Nick a Buffalo Kid. Soon, everyone prepares to board the train once again. Before leaving, Niall tells Tom and Mary that he wants to build a real family with Eleanor. And if the kids are okay with it, he'd also like Nick to become part of their family too. Hearing that makes Tom and Mary incredibly happy. Eleanor then gently asks Nick if he would like to join their family. Nick becomes emotional. With tears in his eyes, he smiles and nods yes, and seeing that finally brings happiness to everyone. At last, the children who once felt completely alone finally find the loving family they always deserved. If this emotional journey touched your heart, then don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing movie stories like this.